Bro, you ever realize Job didn't suffer because he did something wrong? He suffered because God trusted him.
Wait, what do you mean trusted him?
Look at Job 1:8. God literally says to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There's no one like him on earth, blameless, upright, fears God, and shuns evil." That's not God scolding him. That's God bragging about him in heaven.
Hold up, so the entire story starts because God was proud of Job?
Exactly. Satan accused Job of being loyal only because God blessed him, basically saying he only loves you because you make his life easy. So God allowed the test, not to destroy Job, but to prove that Job's faith wasn't for sale.
Dang, so Job wasn't punished, he was trusted.
That's what people miss. The trial wasn't evidence that Job failed. It was evidence that God knew he wouldn't. And notice, God gave limits. He told Satan, "He is in your hands, but you must spare his life." Job 2:6. That means every storm, every loss, every heartbreak that hit Job had divine boundaries.
So even in the worst pain, Job was never out of God's hands.
Exactly, bro. Job lost his home, his livestock, his wealth, his kids, everything. He tore his robe, fell to the ground. But what did he do next? He worshipped. He said, "The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job 1:21.
That's powerful. Most people would have cursed God in that moment.
Right? And that's what the devil expected. But Job didn't just love God for blessings. He loved him for who he is. That's the level of faith God wants in all of us. The kind that doesn't need comfort to remain faithful.
So when people go through stuff they don't deserve, like heartbreak, loss, sickness, it might not be punishment at all.
Exactly, bro. Sometimes the test is proof that heaven sees something in you the devil can't. It's like God saying, "I know this one won't fold. Test him if you want, and he's mine."
So God's bragging about his people in front of Satan?
Yeah, that's what's wild. The enemy sees your faith and hates it. But God sees your faith and trusts it. That's why some of the hardest battles come right after your biggest moments of obedience. God doesn't brag about people he can't trust.
That hits hard, because when you're in it, it just feels like God left you.
Facts, but he never did. Even when Job sat in ashes, scraping his sores and asking why, God was still there, watching his servant hold on to faith. Because the truth is, sometimes God doesn't speak during the test, because the teacher doesn't talk during the exam.
Bro, that's deep.
And think about it. If God could trust Job with suffering, maybe he can trust you too. You might feel like you're losing everything, but maybe God's whispering, "God, watch my servant, they're not giving up."
So what I'm hearing is, sometimes your suffering is heaven saying, "I believe in you."
Exactly. When God brags about you, the enemy attacks you. But when you endure through it, heaven crowns you.
That's different, bro. I never saw Job's story like that before. God didn't test him to see if he'd fail. He already knew he'd pass.
Right. And that's why James 5:11 says, "As you know, we count as blessed those who have persevered. You have heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy." The test wasn't about pain, it was about proving purity.
So even if I'm in my job season right now, I can rest knowing God didn't choose me because I'm weak. He chose me because he knows I'll stand.
Exactly, bro. The suffering means you're trusted. Heaven's proud, hell's nervous, and your endurance is the proof.